Hey, I'm Adam Jusko, and this is Strictly Credit Cards, where we talk about strictly credit cards. Subscribe, why don't you? In this video, we are going to look at the Lowe's credit cards. Lowe's offers a consumer credit card and a number of business credit cards, all of which give you discounts and potentially special financing. So we're going to look at each one of these cards and see if any of them might be right for you. So let's look first at that consumer card. It is called the Lowe's Advantage card. It's a no annual fee card. You should know up front that it is only accepted at Lowe's, so you can't use it outside of Lowe's, something to take into consideration. Now, in addition to giving you the obvious ability to buy things on credit, at Lowe's the card does give you your sort of choice of discounts or special financing. So you can choose to, and this is probably the most appealing to the most people, get 5% off all of your Lowe's purchases when you use the Lowe's Advantage card. So basically everything you buy, you're just going to get 5% off of it when you use the card, which makes it kind of a no-brainer if you shop at Lowe's with any regularity, because if you don't have the card, everybody else is getting 5% off that does have the card, and you are not. Now, there are some exceptions here. You don't get 5% off gift cards, you don't get 5% off Weber products, and there's some other brands as well. Or if you're getting special discounts already through Lowe's, you may not get the 5% off. So there's some fine print that goes along with that. But for most people, you're going to get 5% off of your Lowe's purchases. Now, you could opt instead of the 5% for special financing. If you make purchases of $299 or more, you could choose to have special financing of 0% for 6 months. So you have to pay off your purchase within 6 months in order to keep that 0% interest rate. Or if you made a very large purchase, you could use special financing that gives you a 7.99% interest rate, at least as I am making this video. And that could be stretched out as long as 84 months. So $2,000 or more, you could get that 7.99% financing for up to 84 months. And then sometimes there are going to be some other special financing offers, but you do have to choose. You either take the 5% off or you take one of the special financing offers. You don't get both. Now, a couple notes here as we talk about special financing and the regular interest rate on this card. That 0% for 6 months offer that I mentioned on purchases of $299 or more, you will get that 0% rate. You won't have to pay any interest as long as you pay off every penny within that 6-month period. If you leave any balance on from whatever that purchase was, well, basically the deal is off. This is called deferred financing. If you don't pay off every penny within that 6-month period, well, then they charge you all of the interest from the date of purchase as if that deal had never existed. And the regular interest rate on this card, at least as I make this video, is 26.99%. So all of a sudden, if you haven't paid off every penny, you're going to get charged as if you were being charged 26.99% interest from the day of purchase. So obviously that is not desirable. The other thing to know is that even if you're getting 5% off with a 26.99% interest rate, you're obviously not going to want to carry a balance with this card, because even with a 5% discount, you probably will end up paying more in interest with this card if you are carrying a balance from month to month than you got with that 5% discount. And then a couple final points on the Lowe's Advantage card. On the day that you are approved, you will get a 20% discount on purchases made on that day, up to a maximum of a $100 discount. So you could spend up to $500 with the card and get a 20% discount on all of those purchases, up to a maximum of $100. Now, this card is issued by Synchrony Bank, so if you are thinking about whether you are likely or not likely to get approved for this card, Synchrony Bank is known to be a little easier on approval. So if you have sort of a borderline credit score, if you're sitting somewhere in the 600s, Synchrony Bank is going to be more likely to approve you than a lot of the other big banks were. So this is a store-only card issued by Synchrony Bank, and so most people are probably going to get approved for this card unless you really have a bad track record using credit. So overall, if you shop at Lowe's with any regularity, this card is going to make sense for you because it is going to give you 5% off everything that you buy at Lowe's, unless you choose special financing on some bigger purchases, which also is a nice perk to have in certain situations. So there's certainly no downside here. Like I said earlier, if you don't get the card and you shop at Lowe's with any regularity, then you're paying 5% more than everybody else who is using the card. Now let's look at the Lowe's business cards. There are multiple Lowe's business cards, each one targeting sort of a different slice of the potential business market. For sort of individuals or smaller scale operations, probably the best card, or the one that you would choose, would be the Lowe's Business Rewards American Express card. This is a card that doesn't have any annual fee. It's going to give you that 5% discount on all of your Lowe's purchases, just like the Advantage card. And then you also get some rewards, some reward points that you can use toward Lowe's gift cards or American Express gift cards. So you're going to get 3 points per dollar on restaurant purchases, office supply purchases, wireless telephone purchases, 2 points per dollar at Lowe's, 1 point per dollar everywhere else. And then there is a $100 bonus opportunity for new card holders. You'll actually get 5 points per dollar on those Lowe's purchases for the first 6 months, I believe it is, as a new card holder. So a lot of different stuff going on here with this card, the 5% off at Lowe's, but also the ability to earn some points and get some rewards in the form of gift cards from Lowe's or American Express. This card lets you pay your full balance each month, or you can revolve a balance, meaning that you can pay off part of your balance and let the other part revolve to the next month or go over into the next month, in which case you would pay interest. So you'd rather not do that if you can avoid it. Now you do have a 0% interest rate for the first 6 months with this card. So for those first 6 months, it's not that big of a deal to revolve a balance. But after that, you are going to have an interest rate anywhere from 15.74% to 24.74%. And depending on what your credit history is and where you would fall in that interest rate range, that 20+% in particular end of the range, not a place where you want to be paying interest on your purchases. So that's the Lowe's Rewards card, accepted at Lowe's and anywhere else American Express is accepted. It's the card sort of targeted towards smaller businesses, although any business potentially could go after it. These next cards probably geared more toward larger businesses that want to have multiple cards, perhaps for multiple employees, and have some different terms. One of those terms is that the other business cards are only going to be good at Lowe's, so you can't use them outside Lowe's. The first is the Lowe's Business Advantage card, no annual fee. You'll get that same 5% off on your Lowe's purchases with this card. In terms of financing with this card, the purchases that you make, you can get 60 days to pay them off without paying interest. So you can revolve your balances, but you have a full 60 days to actually pay off that balance before you would get charged interest. Now, that interest rate is 21.99% as I make this video. So if you still haven't paid off a particular purchase within 60 days, well, then you are going to get charged some interest. You have to sign up for the Lowe's for Pros loyalty program and register your card with it in order to get all the sort of perks of this card. Now you can have multiple cards if you have multiple employees with this card. On the day that you are approved for the first card, you will get a 20% discount on your Lowe's purchases on that day, but you do have to ask for it. So if they don't tell you, you might go away and not get your 20%. So make sure you know that. It's very weird. For whatever reason, they tell you on their website you have to ask for your 20% discount on the day that you are approved for the card. Maybe that's to kind of cover their butt a little bit in case they forget to give it to you. But make sure you understand that that is supposed to be part of the deal. And then there is the Lowe's commercial account, which isn't a whole lot different than that Business Advantage card, except for you have to completely pay off your balance with that card every other month. So it's kind of interesting. Usually when you have a charge card, you have to pay it off in full each month. This one allows you to pay it off in full every other month. Other than that, kind of the same deal. You're getting 5% off on your Lowe's purchases. You have to be part of the Lowe's for Pros program and register with the card in order to make sure you get all the perks with this card. You can have multiple cards. I think there's a little more reporting in terms of, SKUs and all that kind of stuff when you are getting the report of everything that you purchase. You can have multiple cards, all that kind of stuff. So geared maybe a little bit more to larger companies, but it's really sort of just a different animal in terms of what you want to have when you make your payment. Do you want to revolve like with that Business Advantage card, or do you want to make sure that there's no way that you can revolve a balance and pay it off every other month? And then finally, there's one more card from Lowe's. It is actually not a credit card. It is a prepaid debit card. So it is called the Lowe's Preload Discover card. You can have one or more cards that you put a certain amount on, and you can give them to your employees to use up to that amount. You could even give them to subcontractors potentially to use to make purchases at Lowe's. The nice thing about it is, versus just only being a debit card, is that when it is used, you get that same 5% discount on those Lowe's purchases. So otherwise it is just a prepaid debit card like any other one, but you're getting that 5% off on your Lowe's purchases. So overall, plenty of options from Lowe's, maybe too many options even on the business front, but if you are a frequent shopper at Lowe's, whether for personal reasons or business reasons, a lot of pretty good cards here. If you look at Lowe's cards versus Home Depot, I think Lowe's is offering you a lot more, or at least a lot more options, and that 5% discount is something you are not getting from Home Depot. So if you're choosing between the two, perhaps Lowe's would be the winner here. That is it for this video. Questions, comments, put them in that comment section below. Otherwise, I thank you for watching. We'll talk to you again soon.